Hey guys, welcome to a new What's on My iPod Touch 5th generation, where I show you the tweaks, apps, and music selection that I have on my iPod Touch. So here's the external look, I guess, of my iPod Touch. I do have the Slate's iPod Touch from late 2012, and I don't have anything on it. I don't have a case on it. I don't have a skin on it because I frankly don't use it or actually don't need it, and I just think the added bulk or added design from a skin would be unnecessary. So I just keep it like this, just plain and simple. Although written with fingerprints at the moment, whoops, but still, naked nevertheless. And on a side note, I've had this for almost 2 years now, and I don't have a scratch on it. It's not even on the display or anything. It looks almost brand new, and I've had it for a couple years, so I find that to be pretty impressive. So software-wise, I'm rocking iOS 7.1.2. I have restored recently because my iPod was very slow. I had a lot of Cydia tweaks on it. I had a lot of applications, and I was basically running out of storage, so I just decided to restore it. Everything is working very smoothly now. Everything's in order. My iPod Touch feels like it's virtually new again, and yeah, which is of course a fortunate thing, because one of the main benefits of having an iOS device is to have the nice fluidity that one comes to know and love with iOS. So I've regained that by restoring it, which is of course a plus. Now the Winterboard theme I currently have on my device is Soft, just S-O-F-T, Soft. It is a fantastic theme, and I like it. I like the icons quite a bit. I could get it a little closer for you. The icons I find are second to none. I really like these icons. Definitely prefer them to the iOS icons, the stock ones. First up, FaceTime, Calendar, Camera, and YouTube, followed by Messages, Notes, Photos, and Videos, although I've never used the Videos app since I've restored, so I mean, I don't really use these apps on a daily basis, to be honest. Next we have Weather, iTunes Store, App Store, and the Extras folder. So I do use Weather, iTunes Store, and App Store on a nearly, I would say, day-to-day basis, probably. And my Extras folder just has some extra applications that I almost never use, of course. And then we have Settings, followed by Podcasts. Now, I only listen to one podcast, and I've said this in another video. I just listened to If I Were You by Jake and Amir. It's their podcast, if you're familiar with that. But really, I don't listen to podcasts too often. I don't find them entertaining. I should, upon thinking about it, I should see what other podcasts I'm into, but I'm fine sticking with just one. But yes, I have the podcast application solely for that one podcast that I listen to. Next is Show of Hands. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I have this on my devices. It's a political polling application. It has a relatively smaller community of like a couple thousand people, but it's fun, and almost everybody knows each other, so it's, I guess, friendly in a way. Friendly, shudder. Next we have Mailbox. It is my preferred mail client over the stock mail application. It's more gesture controlled, I suppose, and I prefer the user interface over the stock one. Next we have Flight Radar 24. It's pretty cool because it allows me to track flights around me, so if there's a flight above me right now, which I highly doubt, it would show me that there is one. It showed me everything, like altitude, airspeed, and things like that of that said flight, hypothetically. But I really like it, and I bought it, how long ago was that? 6 months ago. And I like it. It's $3. It was $3 when I got it, but I don't know. Funnily, that's definitely a word, I don't use iFunny that often, so I don't know why I have it there. It looks cool, I guess. A smiley face, that's positive, right? So every time I look at my iPod's home screen, I can see that, so I guess that's a little positivity. Fortunately, the application after that I use much more frequently than I do iFunny. Yes, pains me to say it. Moving on, we have Kick. I have one message. I wonder who that's from. Genuinely, I'm not being sarcastic. And my dock, I guess. I have Music, Cydia, Tweetbot, and Safari, the 4 applications I use most often, because I check Cydia every day for new tweaks. I have an app update or Cydia tweak update. I use Tweetbot as my Twitter client very often, but I use Twitter for Android more often, believe it or not. I hated Twitter for Android like a year ago, but now I've grown accustomed to it in a weird, odd way, but I like Tweetbot. And then Safari I use, of course, it's the mobile browser. And Music, of course, I use most often on my device in general, as a whole. The music app is what I use most often. Anyway, second page. Yes, guys, for real, this is it. This is what I have. Bands in town just allows me to see if there are any concerts in town. After that is blur, which is it allows you to blur the wallpaper. I don't have it for my wallpaper now. I don't even know where this wallpaper's from, to be honest. Next we have Tractor DJ, followed by No Brakes. No Brakes is a really fun game, actually. Let's go into it. Aww. I really like this game, though. Wow, volume is a little bit too loud. No. Okay, well, we can always replay. No. Did I? Oh, no ad. The ads are very obtrusive, which I despise, but you know, it's a free app, they have to do that. Let's do it one more time because it's fun, really, and I spent a whole 30 minutes one time playing this, and I rarely spend that long on a mobile game. I don't know, I'm just not that captivated by mobile games recently, as of recent. But this one I'd have to make a clear exception for because this is a very fun game. Okay. Let's reach 100 kilometers an hour, and then you'll see what happens. See, now I'm on speed zone 3, which means that I will, eventually go to speed zone 4, then speed zone 5. My record, I believe, is 168 kilometers an hour, so yeah, I've done much better than this, believe me. But yeah, that's my favorite game right now, and let's move on to another game which isn't as good as No Brakes, Plants vs. Zombies 2. Yeah, I take that back. It's probably better as a game, but it just doesn't have that addicting factor for me. I used to play the original Plants vs. Zombies, wow, on end. Like, I played that for a couple hours at a time, I remember. But then again, that was like 2.5 years ago. Now, to be honest with you, I downloaded Plants vs. Zombies 2 about a few weeks ago, and I haven't played it once, so, yeah. Another game is, I believe it's called Don't Touch the Spikes, not too sure. That's, wow, 2 applications we're going into, that's a new record. Yeah, and I was right. Okay. Here's another sort of addictive game that was in, like, the top 20. I like this game, too. Maybe it's just because I don't know, download games from the App Store too often. Maybe there are a lot of gems like these that I'm just missing because I just don't care enough. Okay, there we go. Don't Touch the Spikes. It's a fun game too. I prefer No Brakes, but you know, to each their own. Next we have Amazon, of course, the Amazon shopping application, and then we have iHandyLevel, which is this obscure application that allows me to check the slopes. So let's say if this table is straight, I can measure that by placing my iPod, and it'll tell me. Yeah, it's not too interesting. Now the iPod isn't where it was before, at least not exactly. Next we have Instagram. I almost never used to go on Instagram. Now I do almost every day, so yeah. You can follow me at EvilNinja99. Next we have Fruit Ninja, followed by Facetune. A little story about Fruit Ninja. Man, I played the crud out of that game. Again, in that same Plants vs. Zombies phase from a couple years back. I remember playing that all the time. I loved the game, and I loved past tense. I still do to some extent, I just don't find the amusement in it that I did when I was, 13, maybe even 14 years old. Next, Facetune, it's just like Instagram, but in a separate app. And then we have Fonto. Yeah, it allows you to put like text over photos. Yeah, wow, my selection is very uninteresting this time around. Next, we have White Noise, which just plays white noise. It's just static. Sometimes it allows me to concentrate on work because I can't listen to music and work at the same time, oddly enough. It's very odd. It's probably not the most odd thing you've ever heard, but it's weird for me and unfortunate because I like listening to music. But yeah, white noise, for some reason, even though that is still audio, I guess it's easier to concentrate because there's no, I don't know, instrumental variation and vocals to concentrate on. But yeah, I use that when I'm working or just to burn headphones in, which I've been burning in my M50s for about a week now. Next we have Dark Sky, which I used to rip on, but then I actually coughed up the cash for it because I thought it was actually a good application. I was ripping on it because it never rains in the winter time, and I discussed this application in January. And in Florida, or at least in South Florida, it doesn't rain during the winter. Well, it does, of course, but rarely. But now, since we're in the midst of summer, it does rain basically every day. So I guess it's fortunate that I have this now. Let's see what Dark Sky says now. It's probably not going to say anything too interesting. Yeah, it's not really going to rain. It's going to drizzle for the hour. Yeah, it's very cloudy outside. Anyway, yeah, thank you so much. But Dark Sky is actually a good app. I didn't give it enough credit last time, and I apologize for that. But yeah, those are my applications. I don't really have too much, and I probably won't until the new iPod Touch comes out, and maybe, just maybe, will I buy it and actually feel the need to cram my iPod Touch with apps. I might consider upgrading to the 64 gig iPod Touch, I don't know, just to have the extra space. Especially for music too, since my music library is expanding at a quite rapid pace. Anyway, we'll take a quick look at the city tweaks that I have by going into my settings app. It's not the most accurate way, but hey, it's simple. It beats going into Cydia. Okay, so here are the ones that I have. Blurred music app allows me to have a blurred music app. I made a review on this like 8-9 months ago. Next we have Bolt, which allows me to have the battery percentage, and I just have the battery percentage because I like it that way. I don't really like the battery icon. Next we have Local IAP Store. It allows me to get in-app purchases for free whenever I would want to. It really doesn't work because now I guess app developers are cracking down on that stuff, but yeah, I don't use it too often. I only wanted it once to remove ads in an application, and it worked for that, fortunately, but that was like the only time it actually worked. Next you have Safari Downloader Plus. It is a cool tweak that allows you to download stuff in Safari. It doesn't seem to slow down Safari like Safari Download Manager did quite a while ago. Man, that was like 2012. Wow, that was a long time ago, suffice to say. But next we have Slide to Kill 7. It's a pretty cool tweak. I've discussed this numerous times. If you swipe down, it just clears the applications from the app switcher, which is cool, but now I have to go back all the way down and scroll. There we go. And then we have Spring to Mice 3, of course, the jack of all trades of the Cydia tweak. Then we have Winterboard, and then YouTuber, which allows me to get, what does it do actually? Oh yeah, block ads and background playback. But actually blocking ads never works, which is so stupid. It doesn't actually work. Background playback works, fortunately, because this would be an otherwise useless tweak, which is primarily what I use it for. I use it for background playback for podcasts and things of that nature. But yeah, that is basically my Cydia tweak selection. I have a few other Cydia tweaks, but really not anything too special other from those. Yeah, so we'll go into my music and we'll see what I have. Okay, so I was listening to a bit of The Strokes, earlier. I listen to them most often now, though. Okay, so scrolling down, there isn't anything. Of course, my favorite song of all time. I had to go out of my way to get that. Not necessarily, but I mean, it's odd. I don't have any singles on my iPod Touch other than that one song. Of course, Atoms for Peace, The Beatles, of course, Beck. I think that's new. Yeah, I don't think I've had that in the last video. Yeah, this is like some sort of like, I don't know, it's somewhat depressing listening to this, but it's so, I guess, fun. Not fun, but, I like listening and enjoy listening to Sea Change, so that's good. Blink-182, of course, Boards of Canada, which I like this album quite a bit. Favorite song, Roy G. Biv, no surprise there. Next, KG Elephant, not really a big fan. Why is this broken up into two? That is odd. I may have to sync my iPod Touch back to iTunes just to resolve that because I really cannot stand that. But yeah, the only album I somewhat like is Thank You Happy Birthday. I don't really like the new album anyway, so I'll be better off just deleting that altogether rather than trying to merge the two. Next we have Coldplay, good in my book, one of my more favored bands. Next we have Daft Punk, of course, the 3 albums that were good, of course, Dismissing Human After All, which I absolutely hate. Then we have Earl Sweatshirt, yeah, I only listen to one song, Chum. I like a few others maybe, but yeah, I like this song quite a bit. Unusually, actually, because I'm not really a big fan of rap. Next we have Ed Sheeran, of course. I listened to most of the new album, even though, surprisingly enough, I didn't listen to all of it. I like Nina, and I like Bloodstream. Those are my 2 favorites that I could list off the top of my head. Foxborough Hot Tubs, of course. Green Day, of course. All of the albums. Next we have Lana Del Rey. Mainly, I just like her voice, honestly. It's more of a vocal thing than anything else. She doesn't really, expand on too many horizons. Like, her music isn't really groundbreaking, but, I mean, it's, I suppose, emotional, and I like it. I prefer the older Born to Die album over the new one. I don't know. I guess it's just personal preference. Well, what else would it be? Next we have Led Zeppelin. Just 3 songs that I like. Next we have Michael Jackson. I should get the Escape album. I probably will eventually. Then Minor Threat, followed by Muse. Just 1 album. The only album I like. Then My Chemical Romance. All the albums. I actually like the earlier one quite a lot. Then we have The Network, followed by Nirvana, and yeah, of course, all the albums. I used to love them a lot. Now, Then we have The Offspring, of course. Most albums, the albums I like. I'm not gonna keep albums that I don't like. Oops, not that one. Then Owl City, just 1 album that I like. Paramore, 2 albums that I like quite a bit. Brand New Eyes, really like that one, and the new Paramore album is good. I mean, it's quite a deviation from the older, I guess, pop punk stuff, and I like it. It's more poppy, but it works, and I like the album. Moving on, we have Paul McCartney's new album, New. And then we have Pearl Jam, followed by The Police, followed by R.E.M., followed by Radiohead, all the albums. I've been listening to In Rainbows the most. I like this one, and I've been harping on that one for the most part as of recent. Rage Against the Machine, their debut album. Ramones, their debut album. Red Hot Chili Peppers, all the albums. Haven't been listening to them too often. I'd have to say my favorite album would be By the Way. It's rather unpopular as far as an opinion is concerned, but I like it more than the other ones. Then we have just Some Girls by the Rolling Stones, followed by It's Only Rock and Roll, Sticky Fingers, Let It Bleed, Beggar. Yeah, quite a few in the selection. And then we have Skrillex. I like this album, Bang Ring. I'm not too fond of his new one, which I've heard. I actually deleted it from my library. I just didn't like it the same way I liked Bang Ring, or continue to. It's not a fantastic album, but it's actually very good. I like it personally, although a lot of people tend to think the complete opposite. Next we have The Strokes, of course, all the albums. In order, my favorites would be Is This It, followed by Room on Fire, then scrolling up to Come Down Machine, followed by Angles, and then First Impressions of Earth is my least favorite. And also I have an album by Tame Impala, which is just a psychedelic rock band, a psychedelic indie rock band. But yeah, that's about it for the new additions to my collection. If you want to see what else I have, as well as a more in-depth look at my iTunes library video, which I made about a couple months back, so some things aren't on there. Or just look at my previous What's on My iPod Touch videos to get a better idea of what else I have. So, yeah, that is essentially it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching this. If you liked it, be sure to smack that thumbs up button, because it helps me out a lot, apparently. Helps out a lot of YouTubers, so why can't it help me out? So, yeah, it probably helps me out. I really appreciate you watching this. And if you want to see more, just leave a comment down below. If you have any suggestions for videos, I'd also appreciate that too. It's, believe it or not, it's rather hard or rather difficult coming up with new ideas to make videos for, because it's just, things are running scarce, especially in the tech community. They'll all change with the announcements of, like, Nexus 6, the new iPhone and stuff like that, but as of now, there isn't too much. But yeah, just leave any suggestions you have in the comments below. I'll also be doing a Q&A rather soon, maybe in the next few days actually. So stay tuned for more future content by subscribing if you're not subscribed already. That's it for me. Catch you next time. Peace.